Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Burning Questions. This is a little bit, what's amateur hour? Not great with technology. Haven't been able to get it going in the studio, but I'm still talking into a mic that isn't working, so it still looks like something's happening here. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best, and you do that. If you really want to do it with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety, they've got you covered. And others for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. Special guest, a man who can butcher the English language every now and then, but he's a very smart horseman. Alby Ashwood, how are you, mate?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Yourself, J-Bon?
Yeah, pretty good. Kept you waiting for about 25 minutes just to build the anticipation. Andrew, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks, J-Bon. I'm used to the wait. That's fine. Not an issue.
You're going to start like that again, are you? Right, okay. And Skeeter, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Bon. Nice to have you join us, and it's going to be a good show. I've just got a feeling.
You know why Andy's upset with me? Because he's read the form comment about Majestuoso. Most of it was kind. There were a couple of little negative elements. That's the first question on the Burning Questions today. Will Madge mind his manners? And is the nephew racing so well that it may not matter if he does? Andrew Patrick Gath, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm sure his manners would be fine. Sort of come out of the blue last start when he galloped out. He hasn't done that for a long time. Nephew of Sunoco is absolutely flying. It's getting better each run, even though it's over 100 starts. It was terrific last week, sitting in the death running fast time. So going to be pretty hard to beat. But I'm pretty confident Majestuoso is good enough to get the job done. And I expect that he can be winning on Saturday night.
How confident that he'll do everything right?
99.9%.
What's that in a price? That's $1.001. That's wow. You might be able to help out here, Alby, because Nephew of Sunoco looks the leader, but you might have something to say about that with Humble Lad, something that you are not.
I'll be looking to go forward and find the front. If I do find the front,
you'll be trying to find the front, Alby.
Yes, and if I do find...
Wow, change of tactics.
And if I do find the front, I'll be happy to keep it, but there's a small chance I probably won't find the front because All Cashed Up gets out pretty well and probably wants to let Nephew Sunoco go to the top because he's racing in so good form at the moment. But in saying that, Andy's horse is probably the best horse in the race by 20 metres, and if he does everything right, he should just brain him, I feel. 20
metres. Dang, 99.9. What price are we getting? 99.99% chance he does everything right. Best horse by 20 metres. Open 250. What in the world, according to Garth? Skeeter, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we're getting overs according to Andy and Alby, that's for sure. But no, look, I think he's a quality horse. We know how good he is, Majestuoso, and obviously his 2 runs, his campaign, things haven't worked out well for him, but he's a good horse, so he's due to bounce back, and I think we can see the best of him. In saying that, I think he has to be near his best with the form that Nephew of Sunoco has been racing in. He's just gone to another level recently. So, yeah, expecting Madge to be there and very hard to beat, but I've really developed a soft spot for Nephew of Sunoco, and no doubt he's the major danger.
I can tell you one thing I won't do because I've got a great love and connection with Andy Gath. I'm not going to have him in any multis, Majestuoso, or one out in the quaddie because I've gone through some pretty significant suffering doing that in the past. Right. Question number 2, Burning Questions. Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety, our sponsor. Does the map give Sicario claimer, or will home deck edge ensure Sirletic turns the tables famously? It will go down in history, Andy Gath, when you tip Struve purely based on his record at Bendigo. Sirletic's got a great record here at Shepparton. Sicario's never been there, but Sicario gets the front. How do you see it?
Well, I see that Aussie Battler would be the first leader, and I think Uncle B likes leading. I don't think he'd be handing up to Sicario. So, yeah, I think Sicario would be posted, and Sirletic, even though it's not his, you said it's his home deck, it's 60 k's away from Avenel, but still, I think he's had 7 starts on the track for 3 wins and 4 placings. So he obviously performs pretty well there. Probably a touch below par last start, Sirletic, but he can bounce back pretty quick. And yeah, if Sicario doesn't find the front, I think it's Sirletic's race.
You know, that is his home deck. They don't actually have race meetings at David Aiken's property. You're aware of that, yeah, Andy?
Yeah, but Kilmore might be closer than Shepparton.
Get stuffed. Skeeter, your thoughts here? This excites me because I have got Sirletic on top. That would help a hell of a lot if Sicario doesn't find the front.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree. I think if Sicario finds the top, he's no doubt the one to beat. But if he, and I thought he probably does. I take into account what Andy said about Big Ath liking to hold the front. But I thought Aussie Battler over the trip might be happy to take a sit. And yeah, if Sicario is parked, all of a sudden it's a lot more difficult. And it's also worth noting that Sirletic trialled recently, and he trialled really impressively at Shepparton. I think he ran his last half in about 55 there. So he looked really, really good there. So if he can replicate something like that, and there's a little bit of pace on early, he'll be right there. We know he loves these races.
Quick bathroom break for you, Alby, or what?
The phone overheated, so I had to go in a cooler environment.
Is that why there's no smoking at the property? I can see the no smoking signs. Things get a little bit too hot at the stables there.
Yeah, a little bit sometimes. Taylor's a bit of a hothead, so yeah, it gets a bit hot in here.
I'd play nice if I were you, Alby. I'd play nice. Your thoughts? Sirletic versus Sicario. I reckon even if Sicario does lead, the helper might be reacting out because when he goes forward, he can get pulling anyway. So I'm with Sirletic, and I'll tell you what, the information I'm getting here, great shock to me. You like to go forward. Brian Gath likes to hold the front. I'm learning a lot. I'm only new in the game, and I'm learning a lot about some of the drivers and their preferred tactics. What are your thoughts, Alby?
There's going to be plenty of speed early, which is only going to help Sirletic. So if Sicario gets left out, parked for a little bit, or has to do a bit of work to find the front, it's just going to make it a lot easier for Sirletic to run over the top of him.
I'll tell you what, I wonder if Kieran Manning will view this because she was on a couple of weeks back, and in the claim, she made Sicario, I think, her best bet of the night with that wonderful little notepad where she'd written down a couple of her thoughts. Maybe she's with Sicario, but looks like we're leaning towards Sirletic. Third question for the burning questions. It's all about you, Double A Battery. Which of Alby's runners in the first is better placed, and how will they be driven from their respective gates?
Rock and Roll Tommy will go forward. He won a pretty easy race at Bendigo in the junior drivers race from taking a set. The Rock and Roll King's been trialling pretty good at the moment, so he'll probably press forward, and hopefully if he finds the top, he'll probably take some running down. He's probably the better one out of the two, actually.
So we are expecting them with their gate speed to be leader behind leader in transit?
Hopefully.
Can Rock and Tommy rules, can it get past it? Like, how much is between them?
About 10 metres.
That's not the 20 metres for Majestuoso in the that's half that, isn't it? Your thoughts here, Andrew?
Yeah, going on their New Zealand form, Rock and Roll King was a lot better performed horse than the other one. So I think if he finds the top, he'll be too strong, in my opinion. So that's it.
Do you occasionally watch a few Kiwi races in your spare time?
Managed to come across these two, just recently when I was looking at a couple. So yeah. So, but yeah, I think Rock and Roll King's got good gate speed, and if it does top, he'll be the one to beat.
Is that jacket sponsored by Hurricane Harley, or what's going on there?
No, it's a Helly Hansen. I thought I'd change sponsors this week.
God bless you. You must be getting free clothes from everywhere from the Burning Questions experience. Skeeter, your thoughts here? Race one. Now, we messaged during the week, and I said 72 horses, 9 races. Easy work, and you said just hold your horses there, J-Bon. This is hard, and the first race is just about the hardest, but the information we just got from Alby is going to help no end.
Yeah, it does. There's no doubt. I probably haven't got much more to add. The Rock and Roll King, I thought, had been trialling quite nicely, and Rock and Tommy Rules obviously was good in winning last week. So I thought Rock and Tommy Rules has the gate speed to initially hold up and then make a decision from there. So you've heard it from the trainer, so I'm not going to say any different, but leader behind leader, I think they're a pretty good chance of both being right there in the finish.
I'll tell you what, if the other one just runs straight on by.
I hope so.
No, I'm sure you do, but I'll tell you what, you've told us 10 metres, so now we're backing margins. You've given us the exact difference between the two horses. I throw those questions out without knowing who'll answer, but we've got you to answer. And right now, at this point, with only a few minutes to go, your diction and elocution has been superb, Alby. Keep it up for a little bit longer. Final question.
I hope you don't curse me. So.
Well, I think I probably have. We've got about 3 minutes to go. You'll do it on your best bet, I reckon. Kurg or a Revelant. Has the Tango got his fast class rivals licked for class, or can Cheyella test him if the tempo ain't too fast? Now, the good news, we spoke to Laura Crosland on Trots Live today, and it sounds like they're happy to play relatively conservatively. Surely this is Tango Tara's race, Andy.
Yeah, it's a big drop down in class for him. He's 120 rater and gets into 105 race trips and conditions. I think he snuck in by a couple of $100. So, yeah, he's come back quite well. He's super fit at the moment. He's drawn poorly, which he sort of does every start. So, saying that, he still maybe have to send a death and win, so which is never easy. But yeah, he'll go forward, and he's in really good order, and expect that he's going to go pretty close to winning.
I see one of the 2 million horses currently racing in Australia that's heading towards the Inter-Dominion at the end of the year.
I haven't really thought about it actually, but you might as well. Everyone else is going there.
I think so. And he can get into that one. So Norm Jenkins will be happy. And, geez, I probably shouldn't have said anything about Majestuous on the form comment because I still want a room there when I go up to Queensland for the carnival. Damn. Skeeter, your thoughts here. Tango Tara.
Yeah, no doubt the class runner, but once again, we're going to have to see him do it tough, aren't we? But he has done it before, so not over the line. He is my on-top selection in the race, but Cheyella has beaten some nice horses as well, trialled pretty well in the lead up to this, so if she can get a soft trip, I think she'll be right there in the finish. But, yeah, I'm going with the class and hoping Tango Tara can get the job done.
He's in the nervous 90s here, Alby Ashwood. He doesn't have any more words he has to utter. What are your thoughts on Tango Tara? Will he be winning, Alby?
I think so. It's a massive drop in class, as everyone pointed out. He had an easy kill at Mildura, his last win, so he should be ready to go today. And it should be too good to sit in the death and beat these, I think.
Might be finding the front. To be perfectly honest, we need some best bets now. I'm going to save Alby for just a moment because he's done such a good job, but he's got to get nervy later, I reckon. He just isn't that great in his gait in the last sort of 50 metres sometimes. Skeeter, you're on an absolute hot streak. Apart from Tim O'Connor jumping in and tipping Rock and Roll doing it, getting beaten, and there's still some conjecture over whether that was one of yours. But 6 in a row, we're going for 7. Can you do it? Who you got?
I hope so. Andy's on my side. He knows that Tim's doesn't count for my streak. So I'm going with race 8, and I'm going with Soho Hysteria. I think over the mile can find the top in the mares race and run along and be really hard to beat from there. I just really like how this horse has been going. We haven't seen her for a little while, but her wins have been pretty dominant, and she looks like a nice horse. So Soho Hysteria for me this week.
So you've taken it from Alby and Soho Hysteria, and you've made it hysterical there. That might have been the one that Alby was supposed to bugger up, and you've taken it from him. Bloody hell. Alby, you're best on the card.
My best?
Yeah.
Luck in the last. I think it's going to find the front. I think Cloud will cross Alpha Male at the start, and Andy will find the top and be not good rover. It'd just be too strong.
That's some really strange stuff from Alby. I think you're overheating again a little bit. Alpha Male, right, Andy, best bet from you.
Yeah, it's probably going for 7 in a row. I think I'm going for 7 in a row losers. Going to put the pressure back on myself. I didn't realise so many people took Maldies until Majestuous got beat last start. Everyone I've run into since last leg of me Maldi, UJ Bond, David Miles, everywhere I go. So I'm going to stick my neck out again and say Majestuous.
Still not one. I can't. I wouldn't do it to you, Andy. I'm not going to one out him in anything. I'm certainly not playing any multis. Alby's held up incredibly well. Fantastic stuff from you, mate. Apart from tipping picks, what's that all about? My best bet on the card is Brutally Handsome. Now, unless Beach Villa obviously beat inferior opposition last start, but when the going gets tough, Beach Villa hasn't gotten going that often. So Brutally Handsome, for whatever reason, has been hitting a flat spot late, but rallying hard. And I reckon when he digs deep, he might just say to Beach Villa, are you in for the fight? And I think Beach Villa might say, I'm not. Alby, outstanding performance from you. I don't know what vocal coaching speech classes you've been going to, but they are working a treat. Give them a tip next time you go in for your next lesson.
Will do. I'll pass on the good words.
Outstanding work from you, Andy. A little your former comrade there, and maybe have you been the one that's been teaching him how to speak?
No, I did try early on, but didn't get very far, as you could see over the years.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Struve again, Andy. What's the go there?
I've got one in the race.
You've tipped against one of your own. Anyway, we shouldn't do that, should we? And Skeeter, extremely well done for you, and good luck with trying to get 7 in a row.
Thanks, Bon.
No doubt Brutally Handsome absolutely can't possibly win because I can't get a best bet home. At least Andy had a really good run early doors. I pretty much just mozzed them. Well done to Alby Ashwood. Well done to Andy Gath. Well done to Nikita Ross, better known as Skeeter. That's been Burning Questions. I'm Jay Bon, and we were outstanding again. Hopefully you enjoyed.